We had kind of a cold snap here last week too,
Yeah.
and not sure why, but now it's kind of warmish again. And you know, when I was growing up, I used to hear people say, "Well, ain't no wonder you got the flu." I mean, the weather's just been hot and cold, and that'll make you sick.
Yeah. Sure, you got a cold. You walk out without a sweater on. Oh my God! Come on, give me a break.
Yeah,
I
and
I
then
walk around down in Florida in January, right? Down there, it's in the 60s. So I got a pair of shorts on. I got a polo shirt on, and there's a guy across the street cutting his lawn or something. And this guy's got a winter jacket on with the hat, right? And he's got the scarf on
yeah,
with gloves, and he's looking at me like I'm a psycho case. That boy must be on drugs. Yeah, that's right.
that's
I'm the
funny.
one that's on drugs.
Right.
So it's all good. That's
Well,
all good. Hey, look who we got on here tonight. We got Vaughn, we got Jason. Good deals, man. I told you guys 2 weeks ago, go contract on everything. How'd you do? I know Vaughn is trying to upset the financial markets right now. This guy's going.
What do you mean by that?
There won't be any houses left to buy. You're talking to everybody. Okay, save some for the
Thank
little
you.
people, man. Save some for the little people. Boy, oh boy, that's great. You're hitting the ball over the fence. Jason, what have you been up to, man? Doing anything good?
I haven't been working any deals. I did do a little driving for dollars, but I've been helping my mother out. She lives about 5 hours away, and I think she broke her hip, and helping her with some get situated. But
Got to do what you got to do there.
ready to jump back into this though. So I'm just in for the powwow tonight. So
That's cool. That's cool.
How you doing?
Doing all right. I spent about 3 weeks down in Florida just trying to glue the pieces back together on some empty rentals that I had, project houses. I lost my handyman. This guy was great. Lost him to COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man, like literally, like lost him.
I mean, he passed away. 3 weeks he was gone. So I mean, he went from start to finish. It was done in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great guy. But he was working on one of my houses down. I had the house 2/3 of the way, about 2/3 of the way finished, and I just shut it down. I let it sit there for 2 months. I don't want anybody going in there. I'm not a scientist, man. I don't want anybody going in there getting sick. Besides, I had his tools all over the place. I wanted to settle that, So, and it all worked out. It's horrible what happened with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. I'm sorry to hear that
That's the way it goes.
his
And I got
family.
my mom in assisted. No, she's in a nursing home now, over in Jacksonville. And every light's a new. Every day is a new edition of the Twilight Zone. So, oh my goodness. So that's recent, but it is what it is. She's 90 years old, so it's gonna happen to all of us sooner or later. But it's all, overall, everything's okay. The market's nuts.
It's all part of the deal, right?
Yeah, the market is nuts everywhere. I talked to a real estate agent I use in Alabama tonight, and she's telling me, Steve, she says, I can't find houses. I says, well, you're an agent. How come you don't go after the, all these ones that fall off, and you go back in there and put them back on the list, to go in there and re-up, reassign them and all. Oh, no, there aren't any. I said, are you telling me that there aren't any properties? She's in Montgomery, and she works about a 20-mile radius of Montgomery. And so you're telling me there aren't any houses that go off the MLS because they've expired, you can't get? She says, no. So I looked on there tonight. In the last 45 days, there were 3. There's more people that are putting their properties. I mean, 3 that weren't ridiculous, and priced way out of the market. That's a whole nother ballgame. But yeah, man, the market's freaking hot everywhere, I think. So, if you got stuff to sell, that's what to do. I put a single family up for rent down in Florida, the one that we just finished, right? And I put it on. The first thing I did, I put it on Postlets, which is Zillow.com, and they charge you, I think it's $9.99 or something like that a week. And in the first 3 hours it was listed, I got about 150 leads, right? Which is tremendous, right?
yeah.
So then I says, you know what? everybody's talking about this Facebook, and I'm not an internet guy. So let me put this on Facebook, on this, under the marketing. Oh my God, 2,100 leads, 2,100 in 4 days.
Wow.
The guys at Facebook must have been saying, come on, enough, don't give this guy any more leads. And I made the mistake of deciding I was going to expand it and spend some real money to get my message out there.
Yeah.
So I went for $4 a day or $5 a day.
Wow.
And it just exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took it off the market over a week ago, and you can't find it on there. But you still, if somebody saved it or whatever, they can call you. I'm still getting calls and leads on this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible tool. Look at Hervik over there smiling.
Yeah.
Are you
No,
gonna
man.
Just
sell it?
thinking.
Yeah.
Steve,
I'm
are you
thinking.
gonna sell it?
What's
Sorry,
that, buddy? I'm not really looking to sell anything right now. I don't want to pay the tax man more. I made a mistake in April. I sold a house that I thought I was getting a lot of money for down in Florida, one of my rentals. And this house was in a pain in the ass neighborhood. The house was always nickel and a dime me to death and all that, right? So she said, you know what? Sell it. I want to do it on a lease option. Well, agents don't make money on lease options. So what, they're going to find somebody with all the money and bring it in and just cash you out. So they did that. So here I am. All right, I know everything. I'm the guru my behind. Go ahead, I do a 1031 exchange. Sounds good, right? Couldn't find another damn house to put the money into. Nothing within $50,000 of what I sold. So I said, oh, the hell with it. I'll pay the taxes on it and have more cash to work with next year. So, but that's what happened to me down there. I couldn't get arrested down there finding stuff. Nothing really worth all that while. We're not all as lucky as Hervik over there. Now Hervik is a different ballgame. This guy, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. You know, I'm telling you.
Okay, Benjamin Button.
That's funny.
Hey, Steve, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that you need to get a landing page. You know, if you're getting that many leads on something like Facebook, I don't know, because I've never really posted on Facebook Marketplace, but I would assume you could put a link, and then person clicks on the link and it'll take them to your website.
Well, here's what I did. I use REI Black Book, right? Which I'm getting out of that thing soon. But every person that responded on REI Black Book, all right, there's my phone number on there, my Zillow number, right? I forwarded that phone number because everybody wanted to talk to me. I forwarded that phone number to REI Black Book, right? So now I've got their phone number, right? So as soon as and I wasn't going to talk to them, I didn't want to talk to a lot of these people. So I turned around, and instead of meeting all these people, all right, I had their phone number. I dragged it into the system. I don't need anything but their phone number, and it's got to be a cell. Because who's got ground phone numbers these days? And I sent them a text message. I'll send you an update as to when the property is going to be available. Should be available in the next few days. I'm going to be doing an open house. So I'm going to text you when the open house is coming, right? So I had
2,500 people there.
I'm telling you, I did an open house on a Friday afternoon, like around noon, between 12 and 1 o'clock down there. And I got about 15 people showed up. I did it Friday night from like 5 to 7. Oh my God, I could have had the police down there. It was insane. I must have had 150 families show up. I was the only person there. I did it on Saturday. I got about Saturday morning, like 11 to 1. And I got about another 15, 18 families. But Friday night was off the hook, you know? So, and I'm feeding all these leads now that people come in to my real estate agent. I want her to go ahead and do all the work. And don't you know, the agent goes away for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Not even back on Monday. So she got an agent that's working in there, one person, and doesn't even want to be there. So I'm like, you know what? I got all these people. I got all these leads.
Right.
I don't want to shut anybody down. I don't want to meet with any more people there. I was going to be down there for an extra few days. I go, you know what? I'm going to do this again next weekend if we don't get the house right. Because we got a lot of leads. We got lots, everybody tells you they're gonna give you, they're gonna meet at the office. They gotta give you an application and all, but I told everybody, I don't want to send you an application because to process it, the agent's gonna charge you $60 per tenant, per adult. I go, so why don't you come down here, see the house, we'll have a conversation. If I think you stand a good shot, okay, come on, and then I'll send you over to the agent. Otherwise, don't bother. Right.
Yeah.
I did it again the following weekend, and I was leaving there. I left on there Sunday morning. I was shot, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Friday was insane again. Had like 130, 140 families. Some of the people that came the week before came again because they didn't get a chance to fill out the paperwork. This thing was nuts. I had cars up and down the street, and this isn't.
You needed a DJ.
What's that?
A block
Steve,
party.
You needed a DJ.
I needed you there that spoke Spanish.
Hot dogs.
Because
Yeah.
man, oh man,
Grill.
I'm sitting there. When people are walking up to me with their cellular phones, and they're trying to communicate with me from English to Spanish to English, and they're holding this thing up. I go, look, I ain't got time. Go to these people. Take this number down. Call them. Okay. So, but yeah, we rented it, and these days you really don't get people with a lot of money inside there. I got a guy that's got $60,000 in the bank that really wants to buy the house. So I told him, well, maybe I'll sell it to you in a couple of years. I'm not doing it now. I just spent all this money on this house redoing this. This house was leased to 4 people. And when we did the eviction after 5 months of no rent, it took 17 people out of there.
Wow.
How's that? That's what's going on in these neighborhoods. 17 people, bad news. And you should see what this house looked like. Oh my God. So, but it's nice now. So it's what it is.
Wow.
Anybody got a deal they want to talk about tonight?
That's a crazy good story, Coach Steve.
Hey, well, I'm nothing unique. This happens to everybody.
Wow.
So right now the market is so hot. Real estate, whether you're buying, whether you're selling. The hotels that I stay in on and off throughout South Florida or Southwest Florida, right? They're full. I mean, most of them, even with this pandemic and all, I go, how are you keeping these hotels full? And they all tell you the same thing. Half the hotels full of people that were tenants, and the landlords threw them out because they sold the house. And the other half are from people that moved from up north down south, thought, oh, I got all this cash. I'm going to walk in the door and just buy a house, no problem. You look out in the parking lot, and they've been driving rental moving vans for 2-3 months already. It's stupid what's going on. It really is. This isn't the only area. It's not the only area, so pretty crazy. All right, it's not about me. It's about you guys. Meg, Hervik, Jason, Vaughn. What do you got for me tonight, man? What do you guys want to talk about? Got any deals?
I got some appointments this week. I was going to say I got some appointments this week, and I plan to use the John Ionati, give them what they want.
There you go, man. There you go. What'd you think of all that with that trip? Was it worth the trip?
Yeah, definitely. The experience itself was worth it, and I mean, just getting the mind frame of, giving them what they want, coming back, and then you have it under contract. You're controlling the deal, and now you start laying out whatever options come in the door. You offer them to the seller, see what you can match up.
It just got off his call. He was on an hour before us. So what would John do? That was his call. He might stop on here tonight. We'll see. But hey, listen, I thought it was great. I learn stuff every time I go, so
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a great experience. And meeting all these people and sitting around and talking to them and listening to how they're doing it, man, there was some pretty experienced people in that room, So I was happy to be there. I'll probably go again next year. We'll see. Who knows?
For sure.
Who knows? It's all good. Aaron Pilot, how you doing, man? Where are you, Aaron? You just disappeared.
Yeah, wonderful. How are you, Steve?
All right, sir. What's going on with you? Welcome to the network.
Not much. Glad to be on the call.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Alcohol is Optional Monday nights. Okay, good. So, who's got a deal they want to talk about? Anybody got a deal they want to have somebody take a look at? You got
Yeah,
me, you got Justin here tonight.
I got one, Steve.
What do you got, man?
I got an REO that I'm looking at.
Okay.
But I don't have a contract on it yet.
It's okay. What do you got? It's all right.
All right, I'm thinking about putting one on it in the morning.
I hear how you said that. That was
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking about putting one of them on every morning.
that was
Yeah.
fucking cool, man. I'm telling you.
Come on, Aaron.
Yeah, but you know, the only thing about it, I've never done an REO. So
Dirt's
in order
dirt.
for it to get
Buildings is
approved,
buildings. Go ahead.
in order for it to get approved, thinking I don't want to put any clauses in there, you know, no inspection clauses and all that. But I want that in there to protect me, my earnest money, you know,
How much money are you putting down?
1,000.
How expensive is the house?
The house is 99,000, but I'm gonna get it for 70.
So it's on the market right now for 99,000.
Yep.
And how are you going to get it for 70?
Through the real estate broker.
Has it already been accepted? Would they accept a bid like that?
Well, not yet, but it's been on the market about 33 days.
Okay.
They've already turned down a offer, but that offer was made a month ago.
All right. How do you plan on paying for this?
I'm thinking about just wholesaling it.
Okay. So that's your end strategy game is to buy it for 70 cents on a dollar and wholesale it.
Yeah, probably sell it for about 85.
You think a wholesaler will give you that much money for it?
I think so. It's
Is it a
worth
work-
about 220.
Profit plan, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth about 220 fixed up.
220 fixed up. Holy hell. How much money does this house need?
It needs about, I said about 45. It don't really need that. I had a contractor look at it. He said about 35.
35,000. So you'll have $105,000 in it when you're done. If
Yeah.
you were to buy this for 70, and if all goes well, we're not counting closing costs, just doing simple math. You'll have $105,000 in it, and it's worth what, 2.25?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like 50 cents on a dollar. Why would you want to give that to a wholesaler?
Because the funding that I got going on is kind of challenging. You know, I'm going
Did I
through a
ask
lot
you
of
what-
red tape.
Can you give me an idea where this house is? What state?
Hobart, Indiana.
What year was it built?
I don't know that. I have to look at that.
Okay. Pre-1950s, it might be tough to do. You never know.
Uh-huh.
Well, if this house is, if he's going to be done with this thing and he's in it for 50 cents on a dollar, all right, I would say, I don't like wholesaling houses unless it's the house is a headache. It's a problem because once you sell that house, you're going back to the drawing board and you're never going to see any more money again. So maybe you can flip it and make yourself 10, 15 grand, minus your closing costs. What if you did this? What if you brought in private money for 115 grand, 120,000? And he says, listen, I can show you, you've been talking about private money now. I can show you where this house will be worth 2.25. So if you come in the door for $115,000 or $120,000, there's $100,000 equity cushion above where that guy's investment's going to be. So I mean, I should be able to go down to the local RIA and stand upside down and say, who wants to make an investment for, I don't know, 7% interest for the next 5 years, locked in at and it's only going to cost you $115,000. You got $100,000 on top of that. Now I take that house and I sell a financing, or I lease option for a first year, then give the guy a right to, or 2 years or 3 years, whatever, lease it out with the option to purchase. Take some nice money up front. That's all considered borrowed money. All right, you're not paying tax on that up front. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm gonna tell you, it's not taxable. All right.
Right.
Not till you do the deal, or you forgive the deal and you go on to another one.
Mhm.
All right. So why don't you do this? If they're will they do a deal with you subject to you getting funding?
Well, they may. I've been working with this guy. I've never done any deals with him, but I don't really know what he would do. I don't think that would work though. It's REO property, so I kind of doubt it. It's all cash, you know.
REOs, listen, no banks. Listen, what the agent wants to do is bring the bank the biggest, fastest deal they can make.
Mhm.
And if it's not selling at 100, and he's already had offers on the thing for under 100, and they blew up in his face, and it's 30 days in the deal, he knows that you can give. You're going to tell him, listen, I want to buy your property. All right. I'll give you $75,000 or $70,000 for it. You might have to give him a little bit more for it. But if the numbers work out, you do a deal subject to financing. All right. Don't tell him it's conventional. Don't tell him it's private money, hard money. Don't tell him anything. Subject to financing. And I give him more. Give him $80,000. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. You know, you could always say, listen, I'll give you the 100,000 you want for the thing, subject to financing. Oh, now you're dealing with his greed glands. If you
Mhm.
gave him the whole 100 and you had to go back and say, I can't get financing for this thing on this turd for more than 70,000. You want the 70? Let's go. Otherwise, I can't get it done. And in the meantime, you get it inspected, and you get one of these inspectors in there, you know, with the white gloves, you know what I'm talking about? And he goes through this place and he finds everything. And then you take that report, wrap it up, and ship it off to the bank and say, this is the reason why I'm offering you this amount of money.
Right.
Right.
That's what you do in short sales. You know, that's what you do when you want to really, really dig down and bring a price of a property down. Just making the offer, it doesn't mean squat. They want to know why are you offering us such little money? Let me show you. I was willing to buy it. I still am. I'm still willing to go do it with the financing. I thought so much of this property, I wanted to have it inspected with my money, not yours.
Right.
Yeah.
So now there's local RIAs in your area, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh boy. Well, listen, you go wrap this thing up. Do it. Listen, you're worried about putting something in there to protect your $1,000. Don't worry about your $1,000. The real estate, you're dealing with a licensed realtor,
Yeah.
and you're dealing with a bank. They don't want your $1,000. They want a deal.
Right.
They want a
right.
deal. So if you're going to do a deal, I would wrap that guy up and I'd say, look, I want it subject to me getting financing. I'm not going to pester you with all the rest of this shit. But if I can get the funding on this thing, we got a deal. And I go
Okay.
back and I'd offer the guy, have you talked to him about the 70,000 already?
No, I haven't talked to him about the 70 yet, but I mean, I
You know
told
what
him I
this-
can do 99. I told him that.
Well, okay. It's between, if you're talking about knocking 30% off an asset and it's an REO, that's a big, huge jump for a bank to swallow.
Yeah.
That's huge. Even in a lower end property, you know, under $100,000 that the banks just want to blow off, they're more of a problem to them. For their asset manager to drop 30% in 30 days is a big jump. They might drop it 7 or 8% for a month. Because understand, it's already been written off already. All right.
Right.
But
Right.
even though they've got to escrow a certain amount of money for every bad deal that's on their books, all right, I'm sure they already own this property.
Right.
It's still a dead asset until they turn it into money. So if they've got to wait another 30 days to make this thing happen, because you're going to get funding, you're going to bring a private investor in and make this work, so be it. They're not going to give a damn. But you're not going to tell them that.
Right.
Who's going to buy the property? You're going to put it in your personal name or your LLC? An
Now I'm
LLC?
gonna put it in a S corp.
An S corp.
Yeah.
They might have a problem with the subject of the finance. So you could always put it in your personal name.
Okay.
Think about this. But I don't buy stuff in my personal name. But if I'm dealing with an REO, and have they advertised that this is a cash only deal?
I haven't seen cash only advertisements, so maybe not.
Okay, because the house needs so much work. I mean, is the AC, is the heating system all in one place and the plumbing? Can someone move into this house the way it is?
No, nobody can move in it like the way it is. No.
So then it's not gonna be an FHA type of a loan. They're not gonna have to put money into it to make it work.
Yeah, you got to put money into it. Definitely.
Okay, here's something you can do. If you're talking about flipping this thing, okay, you tell them, listen, you can even do this for the bank, and I've done this. I'll make you two different offers. I'll make you one offer for all cash, and I'll make you one offer for cash, but you got to wait 60 days. Which one you want? 170, one's 85,000.
Okay.
70,000, I close in 30 days. 85,000, I close in 60 days. Pick one.
Okay.
My second one is subject to financing. My first one is all cash.
Right.
All cash deal, you got to move your ass. You got 30 days, and you find somebody that's going to be a wholesaler to buy it, and then buy it to buy it. Whatever, you don't care as long as they got cash, and they take you out. That's it. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Think that sounds good.
You're going to scare the living hell out of this agent. He won't know what to do.
I want to put a link here in the Zoom room chat, and I've done a lot of these bank-owned deals, and these are 8 things that I communicate, me and my team, to the realtor, usually the listing realtor. And we don't always get these 8 things, but that's what we shoot for. Okay. And what I mean by we don't always get it is like number 1, the buyer is my LLC and or assigns. We don't always get and or assigns.
Yep.
But we know right away, if we don't get it, we can double escrow closing. The answer to that question right there will determine how we close. But whatever way they answer, we can work with it. So that's kind of my standard 8. And that might help you, give you an idea of kind of what the bank is going to think is acceptable. And here's another tip too. The bank has a listing realtor that most of them do not like wasting time at all.
I know.
So it's easier to call them and say, hey, listen, I'm serious about this property. I want to make an offer on it. But before I do, I wanted to ask you, would the bank entertain something like in the $70,000 range, or maybe not? They'll tell you, well, hell, man, we got an offer on the table right now for 81, and I'm not sure if they're going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can circumvent a lot of your efforts just by asking.
Okay.
You know,
Doing making offers on REO properties, when you're talking about take this or take that, that's usually on properties that have been laying around a long time. If this is the first 30 days that this thing's on the market, lots of luck.
yeah, they're not. They get motivated over time. That's for sure. And if you find one that's been on the market 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, yeah, they're getting itchy to take something. And what Coach Steve, I want to highlight something he said is as you're going through, I always get a 10-day inspection period, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's never fought, because that's what the realtor
business day.
that's what the world does. They're not
Right.
even going to question a 10-day inspection. So I get a 10-day inspection, and if I go in there and I can get, like he said, an inspector or some licensed contractor or somebody that has some kind of certification, can draw up a 2, 3, 5, 10-page report on why this house is a piece of shit,
Right.
I can go back to the bank and say, hey, listen, this is what we're working with. And you know
With
what?
picture. With
They're
picture.
like, hey, I've never even been in that fucking house.
Right.
And this guy's saying, look, the report, this is fucked up. Get it off my plate. Give it to him.
Right.
Okay,
right.
that may happen.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's
I'm
all
going
I
to tell you
have.
something I did I'm really not that proud of, but I made over $100,000 doing it. All right. I had a real estate, I had way back, we'll go about 10 years ago, had a house I really, really, really wanted to buy. Right. And this house was empty probably about 6 or 7 months. And there was mold in one back corner of the house. I mean, it was black, nasty shit with the spores, really ugly shit. Right. So, and I couldn't get this real estate agent to get up off her ass to do anything. This house was just sitting there. It was one of those, one of many that were on the list, right? And I'm chasing this house, and I think I'm going nowhere. So I took a nice piece of this mold. I cut it out with a razor blade. I put it in a package. I put it inside of a piece of plastic, like a Ziploc bag. And I put it in a nice big envelope, and I mailed it to them. And I said, I really want to buy this house. And I hope I get your attention with this. I wouldn't open this bag if I were you, but you can look at it. And this is what's inside this house. Now, if you all get serious about this, let's do some business. Well, 3 or 4 days later, I got a call from someone in their legal department saying I shouldn't have done that, this and that. I'm going to, yeah, okay, have a good day. The good thing about a phone is what? I'm going to put you on hold a minute. Click, right? And I got a phone. I wanted to buy in that house. Like, I wanted to go into contract on it about 5-6 days after that. So they got a hold of the bank. Bank dropped the price way down. They just wanted to get rid of this thing. So and that's it. So it's that was a headache house. So
that's great. That's a great story too. You got
think outside the box a little bit, man. I mean, you know, you can be a terrorist sometimes. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. You got to do some crazy shit. You got to be inventive. You know. Well, I was looking at houses in Alabama. There was an old man that was following me around. I swear. I looked at 5 houses. This guy was at 4 out of 5 of them. And he had a little bottle that he dragged around with him. And as he's walking around, I see him squeezing this bottle on the floor. So what is that smell? Oh my God. He goes, yeah, come and think of it. I kind of smell that. You know, kind of think of it, Paul. I think it's following you around. Stay out of my damn houses. Right? Some of the houses I'm looking at, he'd spray this stuff and it was rancid, right? And I guess it, you know, but there's a lot of people out there doing stuff like that, you know? So yeah, smells are the biggest thing that realtors and banks are scared of because they don't know where it comes from. They don't know if it's rodents, if it's sewer lines, if it's mold, if it's, they don't know. They don't know, you know? So.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So anyway, so Aaron, good luck, man. Let us know how you do with that.
I
Put
sure
in
will.
contract anyway. What do you got to lose?
I know that $1,000.
Well, you know what? It's at that.
But if I get that 10-day, I'm okay. I'm good.
Dude, they'll give you an inspection period. That's standard.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And also, you know, that $1,000, man, I never offer them $1,000 cash up front. I always try to wheel and deal some way or another and say, listen, you know, this house has been sitting on the market 5 months. We're getting a 10-day inspection period. I'll give you $100 today with the contract, and then I'll give you $900 when my 10-day inspection period's up. That works sometimes. That works sometimes. Okay. Because they're only gambling for 10 days, right? So, you know, why not take a shot dancing with me? They don't have a lot of other options right now. Maybe, I don't know. So, you know, you don't have to cough up $1,000 right away just because that's what the realtor says. In fact, bring it up first. So here's what we do. When we get the idea that we want to make the offer, we'll take that, what I just shared in the Zoom room chat, and we'll basically copy that and paste it into an email to the realtor broker, along with the number that we want, the purchase price, and so on and so forth, and a few, you know, sentences saying, hey, you know, want to make an offer on this property, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll just copy and paste those 8 things. And that's enough information for them to draw up an offer.
Okay.
Yeah. So real easy, man. Don't sweat it.
Don't take a lot of their time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the big thing is if you make it sound like you're being considerate, and that you're not going to have this guy draw up a contract and send it to you, and you're not going to sign a damn thing anyway, right? Listen, like Jason said, listen, would you guys? I know it's been on the market for a while. I drove past it a couple of times. Would you guys even consider an offer maybe in the low 70s, and see where the guy's at?
Yeah.
Now you're being Mr. Considerate. You're not being Steve Driscoll, you know. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Look,
I like the bank-owned business. You know, I hope the bank-owned business comes back strong.
I don't know what's
I like it.
I would imagine so. I don't know if it's going to be anything like it was before, but they're putting so much money into these houses that you know are going to be upside down. I mean, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't need a Ouija board. I don't need a crystal ball to tell you that some of these houses, a $700,000 house now, they're just going in the doorway is going to be $300,000 upside down.
Well, they're gonna get another
Put the wrong
bailout
number on it,
before long.
I'm sorry.
Right. They're gonna get another bailout here before long, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think they're gonna bail. I think they're going to take it. Take it
Yeah.
someplace where the sun don't shine. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a little while to get there. Now, you have courts across the country now are starting to do these evictions. I'm starting the process foreclosures rather. And but I don't see them. I didn't ask him today on your call there. I don't see these guys really wrestling somebody to the ground and throwing somebody out of the house right away. I don't see the banks even wanting to do that because they don't want to get a black eye and be the first guys in the newspaper being the bad guy. So this is like how the start of the last recession started. With this, I hate to use the R word, but with all that blowout, with all those properties, the biggest offenders weren't the guys that went to the bank first. The Deutsche Banks and all that. They sat back a little time until everybody else has started to get their hands dirty. Then they just jumped in and, oh my God, it was a bloodbath. So let's see what happens. We might not be that far down the road. I mean, our friend in Washington can't screw up more than he has already. So what the hell? I got a phone call from one of my tenants in Florida. Now listen to this, everybody. Got a phone call. And this guy's got an illegal family living in his house. All right. I know it. Everybody knows it, right? They've only been in the area like maybe 10 days, 12 days, right? He calls me on the phone because I don't know if he even knows anybody else that might speak English. And I'll be a little sarcastic there, but he says, listen, Mike, I have my family here. I says, yeah. They want to know how they can apply for the $450,000. What do they got to do? I start laughing. I said, they want to apply. So do I. I said, for $450,000, I'm going to put my son on a plane for Mexico City tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
And have him walk over the border. Right?
Hell yeah.
Shit, I might even do it myself.
I got 3 kids.
Right?
I'm going to lose them all.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, they've never been worth more money.
Pretty nuts. All right. Who else got something they want to share, or they got some questions about a deal? They might have a deal they're thinking about.
I have a question.
Good.
Well, I was sending out a contract to a guy. It's a manufactured home, but he's down to do the deal. But he says I need to talk to the property manager first. I didn't know really what this meant, so I was just gonna go ahead and send him the contract anyways.
Does he own the property the house is on?
That's a good question. I couldn't find it on PropStream.
Well, then he probably doesn't own it. It's probably in a park.
Yeah,
right.
That's a bad deal. Usually the property manager doesn't like it.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can make money on those, but you got to buy them for nothing. You got to hold the mortgage. You got to hold the notes and the mortgages on them. It's like they're like buying a used car. You don't get the dirt that's under it. So you don't want to get involved with that. You just, unless you're buying it for nothing. There's people that go around. You talk about driving for dollars. They drive through these parks, and they a park they want to make some maybe kind of a mild investment in, and they look for sale signs and they buy these things for next to nothing because you can't drag them out of there really. It costs you $5-10 grand to move them somewhere, and you got to have a place to move it. So unless it's a fairly new one, you're not going to make that investment. So what do? You're either walking away from it, or you're going to try and sell it to somebody. So maybe you can take over somebody's note on it if it's a real nice one, or you just buy it, give the guy some cash, turn around, sell or finance it to somebody. Let them come in the park. The park usually has to approve the person that you're going to put inside there. At least you want them to. So, and take it from there. But you don't want to spend a real lot of money on those things, man. That's the reason why he says you got to speak to the park manager or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. And then I had a conversation question about a deal that I have in our contract. because he's asking, he's just curious about, my inspections and like, oh, what exactly is the inspection about? What exactly are you looking for? I'm just curious. He's texting me, so I just want to know, like, what's the appropriate professional thing to say?
You don't text him. You got to talk to him on the telephone. So I want to make sure your mother-in-law is not underneath the bed. I want to make sure you don't have cats that are crawling down crawling down. Santa Claus didn't get stuck inside the chimney. So listen, well, I'm going to look for the same things that you looked at before you bought the house. But I'm not going to be as tight about it because I'm in business and this is what I do for a living. I'd say it's simple to me, and I make it laugh. But when you're texting back and forth, you guys, you're a young guy, you might get along with this. I'd rather send them a video. You want to text? Send them a video. All right. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I signed up for bombbomb.com and it's $29 and I just send them a link. Right. And I put in the email, listen, I just made you a personal video. So, we just spoke. I made you a personal video. Click on this. And when the guy answers, when he clicks on it, you had a piece of paper up, you hold it up and say, hello, George, I'm talking to you, and you tell him quickly in a minute or two what it is you want to sum up, and he knows now you're a real person. He can put a face on that text message, so it works. I like doing it, I really, really do. I'm doing very well.
That was Bon.
Yeah, well, BombBomb, BOMB. There's another company out there called Loom, LOOM.com. I think they're free, but I got an update or something, whatever. I was using them, and I don't know, it didn't work that well for what I'm doing.
I use Cloud HQ. It does that.
Maybe that's another one. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah.
Works out well.
I usually just tell a guy like that, I'm just like, well, hey, I'm just looking at, the house, seeing if it, what I might have planned for it in the future and all that. I know you probably got a lot of your stuff laying around and in the way. I don't know. Is that what you're concerned about? Usually that's what I'll ask them, because sometimes their concern is rooted in, hey, all my shit is here and I'm kind of embarrassed because it's a mess.
Or else turn it on a asking, what would Claude say? Well, I would say, that's a very good question. Why are you concerned?
Yeah.
So, boy, did he beat me up this morning. Oh my God.
Did he?
Oh man, I was black and blue by the time I got on your call. Let me tell you.
Wow.
That's all right. I had fun. Hey, congratulations. You got the Max Award, huh? You and Hervik, did Hervik split that with you or something?
Yeah, I got the top half. He got the bottom half.
Wow. Well, listen. I tell you.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's great.
All right. I told him to stop on here tonight. He's another one that might stop on. Who knows? It's kind of getting late. So it's all good.
All right.
All right. Who else got a deal? Anything else to chat about? Vaughn, are we finished?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Keep those calls going.
Thank you.
All right, man. All right. Sounds good. So what else is going on?
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Just
what's happening, man?
what's going on? I just want to give you an update on the lady that I talked. Remember that the lady that I dropped her off into her house?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I called her back. She finally answered the phone. You see, you tell it.
This is the lady he was Uber driving. Remember,
Yeah,
Coach Steve?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, you tell us to call people. People don't answer the phone. Sometimes it's text messages. Then I text her, and then she's like, okay, she answered, and then she's like, and then I called her, and then she answered the phone. So because I think she's been getting a lot of calls of these people trying to buy her house. But anyways, so I was like, yeah, just wanted to check with you if everything's okay, because I left you there that day, and I want to make sure you were able to get stuff done. And then she's like, yeah, she was really pissed off when she talked to me. She was like, I can't believe it, I went there and the contractor didn't show up.
Really?
Yeah. And then she's like, and I'm like, what? So what are you looking to do? So I was trying to kind of dip into the situation just to see what she wanted to do. And she's like, I'm gonna planning doing an Airbnb on this. And I'm like, oh yeah, you should. Mind you, she's from Florida talking to me about this stuff here. And I'm like, yeah, you should. I mean, and then she's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna get, Lowe's or Home Depot, like probably a third party contractor, so I can be on top of them, so they can reply back to me, because it's been a headache. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I think it's a good idea too. And then she's like, and then I'm like, listen, I know we talked the other day. I mean, I don't know if you want me to take this, out of you, maybe, take over your payments or something. And then she's like, no, I don't trust that. Again, the trust issue there, right? So I was like, okay, no problem. And then we talk a little bit more. She was telling me about the Can-Am that she bought, the slingshot. And then I'm like, yeah, cool. She drives it every day. And I'm like, hey, listen, maybe down the line you change your mind, but I'll definitely keep in touch with you. And then she's like, yeah. I went into Mighty Text and already set up a message to Christmas. Merry Christmas. How's the project going?
She's gonna be calling you soon because she can't drive the Can-Am soon.
Yeah.
No top, there's no sides, there's no windows, there's no nothing in that damn thing.
But
Oh, my-
anyways, that's the story there. Basically, it's a follow-up, man.
Why don't you send her? All right, I'm stuck on videos now. Why don't you send her a video once a week and do something like you're in the car and you're driving? I was just thinking about that house, and I'm standing in front of you stand in front of a clunker or a home that's being renovated. Say, look at this house. We're almost done with this one. This one worked out well. You can send them another video that says, you said something about trust and taking over payments. I can show you a way that you would not only be happy with the cash flow from this deal, but you'd be protected where you wouldn't have to worry. You would be 100% protected. You could be the bank. Same way the banks are. Instead of trying to run an Airbnb all the way from Florida. She told you what the pain factors is. She says that she's probably out of her mind, and she's probably got more money than she just could throw around. Can-Ams aren't cheap, and people buy them on a whim because everybody here know what those things are. Those little
Tricycle.
wheel deals.
3-wheel,
Yeah.
2 in the
Can't-
front, 1 in the back.
No, it's usually one person sits behind the other. It's considered a motorcycle, but it's got sides on it, and it's got a 4-cylinder engine in it with a stick. I think some are even automatic.
4
But-
wheels.
No, it's 2-wheel drive. 2 wheels in the front, 1 in the back.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Bad out of hell. I mean, they ride like I don't know, they ride like a motorcycle, but it's a little more sturdier. The wheels are way out in the front. So, but it's cool. But it's a gimmick because she's up in the Northeast. If that's where she bought this damn thing, unless she's going to drive this all the way to Florida, right?
yeah,
She's going to do it. It's going to be in a garage for 6 months. That's how it is up here. You
can you
can't-
take one of those out on the interstate?
I'm sorry.
Can you drive one on the interstate?
You drive it any place where they let motorcycles.
Wow.
It's licensed as a motorcycle. Yeah, look it up and we're off the show here. Don't leave that. But look it up. Yeah. There's a bunch of companies that make them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can-Am.
Anyway.
Okay.
But she sounds like she's got a few extra dollars stowed away there in
Yeah, man.
income. She might not even need this money. I mean, she might not need it.
I think she doesn't. She doesn't need it right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, let her play with that, and then I'll just touch base. It's gonna be a year follow-up. That's for sure.
You guys talk about sending texts and all that.
Steve, I'm telling you.
Break it. Videos break that.
Have you tried text message? It's really good. I'm gonna text you right now.
I send out 10,000 of them a month.
There we go.
Yeah.
They good.
Yeah. How many go through?
Yeah.
Don't really know. All right. Anyways. All right. I'll be off the video kick probably tomorrow, but we'll see. Tonight I'm still on it. All
Yeah,
right.
but I just wanted to give you the update.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for the
that.
tips. Yeah, thanks for the
Listen,
tips.
you know what? You know what? It can still happen. And if
Yeah.
this one doesn't work out, the next one you get that's sitting in the back of the car, you're having a conversation. Put a little thing in it. Can you advertise in your car? If you're picking up any of these rides. Like I was in
I don't-
Florida packages now. And a guy, when you get into the conventional taxi cab, they got two packages that hang on the backs of the front seats, the headrests, and one's full of maps, and one's
Okay.
we got little newspapers. Man, I'd fill that thing up with all stuff if you can do it. I'd fill it up with stuff all about you and all about what you have to offer the public as far as houses are concerned, and financing and training. Do it, man. It's free. And they're already in your car. You know what the best thing is? When they're sitting in the back seat and they're looking at your stuff, you're playing, it's one-on-one. You're not competing with anybody. You might find somebody that's really got some pain over this thing. Maybe financially, they can't even afford to own a car anymore. And you might be the person that's going to give them salvation. I heard that this morning. People like that. Think about it.
What
Turn
about
to a rolling billboard inside. Go ahead, man.
what about some car magnets? If he's driving around a lot.
Absolutely. But he might not be able to use the car magnets if he's doing Uber or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have the stuff inside your car, man. I would say, why can't you market yourself while you're already doing this, you know? Oh, look at this.
LED signs.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go. Then you program it in, program it in what you want it to say, and then you just like duct tape it to the headrest back there. So they
Don't stop short. Whatever you do, don't stop short. And let's see, you got to have a generator hanging off the back bumper because it's now 12 volt. So who knows? Oh, boy. Oh, man. I did my fill of those.
I think it'll plug into a cigarette lighter.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Just put, you can't do those in New York because they got rules against every other damn thing. But why couldn't you do that some states? Even if you got a van or a regular car, we buy houses. Think about that a minute, and it rolls as it goes. Right?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be better. And people can't see this. The magnets on the side of your car, at night. Boy, you got this thing on. They'll see that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you get pulled over, don't mention my name.
My first name is Justin, Justin.
Yeah, right.
So good. So good. I used to go to storefronts and rent like a small corner of their front glass. These little storefronts, one guy sells shoes, one guy's a candy store, one's an ice cream store, one's a newspaper store. And they've got various spots in their front windows. So listen, how about you rent that spot to me? What are you going to do with it? I'm going to put a decal on there. Oh, really? How much are you going to give me? I says $50 a month just for that little corner. Are you really? Yeah. So I go out and make the biggest decal I could get inside that space and put it on there. And I pay him every month. And I had a different phone number for each piece of advertising that I did. I did very well with that. Outside the box marketing. Think about that. Or even inside the stores. Every square foot of a store should be producing income. You walk into you guys don't have delis in a lot of places, but pizza stores and restaurants, there's dead space all over. Would you rent me that wall? What? Would you rent me the half of that wall? What do you mean rent it there? I just want to put stuff on it, but I'll pay you for it. Place got a lot of traffic. It might pay off. You never know. All right. Anyways, we're not supposed to be chatting about marketing. I'm stepping over the line over here tonight. So anyways, we're getting a little late. Anybody else got anything they want to throw up against the wall and see if it sticks? We got any more deals to talk about? We need more deals, man. You guys got to bring us some deals to the table.
I want to go over one if you got time.
Good, man.
Let me lay it out here for you on the whiteboard so it'll make sense and we can get through it pretty quick. Maybe it'll help me understand it too. After repair value, 145,000. It needs repairs to the tune of it's livable, but it just needs some basic cosmetic type stuff. And then we're going to need to understand the mortgage here on the house. The owner's mortgage is equal to 61,000. And she is open to cash or possible creative. And the number that's been arrived on is 77,000. She would pay off the $61,000 mortgage, pocket the difference. She's happy with that. That's would be cash. Okay. So my thought is how do I, and I'm actually quite okay with that offer at 77,000 cash. I think I can work with that. But I was considering here the opportunity to maybe do a creative deal since this one has a flexible homeowner. How would I go about structuring that offer? Assume I don't know anything to Coach Steve. Assume I'm just
Oh, no. I want to know
just-
what you got in your mind. You've
I
been
fell
looking
off
at
the
this.
I just fell off the turnip truck yesterday, man. I don't know
No.
anything.
Come on. How do you want to handle this? You've been on these enough. You know what you're doing. I want to see how you would structure it, then I'm going to take it. I'll take it another way. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking offering her 85 or 90
Yeah.
for a creative solution. And I really love to get this subject too, actually,
What's the house going to rent for?
at 61,000 and even maybe give her some cash beyond that. That might be a thought. So I really can't decide. What'd you say? What's
What's the house going to rent for?
Oh, the house is going to rent for 1,200 a month.
Can I get $1,200 a month without putting the 35 grand into it?
You know, you could probably get at least 950.
So let's just call it an even down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That's an idea. Because it is just cosmetics here. So it could be worth 145 if we updated it and made all the repairs to it and all that. But as it sits now, it's probably worth 115, 110.
If it's worth 145 now, if you did all the work on it and you turned around and you were to seller finance this house, it's probably worth 165. That basically depends on if your payment, your principal, interest, and taxes are going to be within 10, 15% of where your rental payment would be. Someone will take the plunge. Now, remember, you're also going to collect the down payment on that deal.
Right.
So
Right.
go ahead.
So if I did a creative offer, right here, and I offered her 90,000 purchase price,
Right.
and I agreed to pay off the $61,000 mortgage. And so I'm going to pay off the mortgage. Let's see, 61,000. And then I want to put some money in her pocket. That's probably the only way I'm going to make that deal work is put the difference between 61 and 77, which would be $16,000 in her pocket.
She wants 77,000 to walk away.
Yeah.
Why are you at 90?
Well, because that's cash. See what I'm talking about from here down, ARV all the way down to this is what I've negotiated with her successfully cash wise. So if I were to send her a cash contract tonight at 77,000, she's agreed to sign it. Okay, for example. So I didn't say, well, hey, you know what, let's switcheroo a little bit and do this 77, but I'm going to wait 2 years to give you your money, or 5 or 10 or what, or whatever. All right. I didn't do that yet. So I'm trying to get my thoughts straight, I guess, before, or I maybe won't even do that at all. I don't know. I haven't decided, right? So I'm trying to think through this. Does that make sense, or am I just rambling?
Well, she came, you both agreed on the 77,000? Or that was
Yeah.
just a conversation?
That was just a conversation. At 77,000, she would walk away and feel totally happy signing the agreement because she knows she's going to pay off the $61,000 mortgage and still get $16,000 cash in her pocket before closing costs.
All right, well, here's one for you. How about you give her $20,000 over the current mortgage? And take over the first mortgage subject too.
Okay. I like that idea too.
I should get 81,000.
Okay. So purchase price, 81,000, subject to
20,000 down.
the original mortgage.
Yep.
Okay, and then
See, the first thing everybody wants to do is try and take over that existing financing. If it's a palatable interest rate, and especially if more than half of it's already paid down, oh my goodness. If this mortgage started at 150,000
it
and they're at
did.
80, they're
Well,
at 80 grand, they've already paid down a lot of that dead end principal.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's
the
a
interest
sweet
is already
deal.
gone. Yeah,
It would be a sweet deal for subject to, but I didn't talk about that with her yet because I wasn't clear in my mind about what I wanted to do.
what's she looking to do? Move?
Move. She got a
Area?
bigger house. Want to get a bigger house, and
Yeah.
this is a small town.
All right, well, if you take her mortgage and you mirror it, you do you wrap her original. Okay, you make her the second mortgage holder. So it's a mirrored mortgage,
Yep,
all right?
gotcha.
A lot of banks now, if the money comes in, if her mortgage is say $600 a month, and you're wrapping that and you're including $600 a month for her, or she sees cash flow, the banks will accept a lot of that.
Yeah. So in this case, though, she wouldn't be creating any real cash flow because I would just be giving her $20,000 profits in cash up. front.
Correct. You just
The
want to
rest
take
would be a
over.
wash.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have a deal where you want to protect the buyer, you want to protect the seller, one way to do it is to create a mirror mortgage, or what they would say a performance mortgage, where you would have the bank is in the first place, and then your seller is in second. So now, and then you're starting a new third, and you're, for whatever else you're going to
Yeah.
plan on doing with the property. All right.
That
But
performance,
you're sick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
just to be clear, that performance mortgage would be so that I could take the property back in control if that person defaults. Is that correct?
If you're the seller, yes.
Yeah.
So you're giving them all the tools. This takes a lot of the bullshit off the table when it says, "Yeah, listen, I got nothing I can do. If you stop paying, I'm screwed." No, I'm going to give you a performance mortgage, or I'm going to mirror that first mortgage, and we're going to give you a new set. We're going to create a new second with your name on it.
Yep.
So we're going to wrap that first into the second, and you're covered. If I don't pay you, you foreclose, you get the house back.
Right.
You're the same as a bank. Oh,
Smart.
that's when you want to protect the person who's there, which you should
Yeah.
really want to do. All
Yeah.
right. If you got somebody that says, "Listen, I'm heading out of town. I'm leaving at 10 o'clock. If you want to take this damn house, be here before 10. I'll sign anything you want. Bring me $1,000. Goodbye." That's not worth the trouble. All right. So, but yeah. So I would offer it to her that way and say, 9 times out of 10, talk to your mortgage broker, not a banker, your mortgage broker. And 9 times out of 10, they'll accept this after it's got 3 or 4 months worth of aging on it to show that it's working, rather than if I rented this property from you, that probably only takes 60 or 70 cents on a dollar.
Exactly.
They want to put that money into reserve.
Yeah.
Here it's a sale, So I'm sorry. So we kind of got off track there.
No,
But
that's good.
yeah,
I think that makes sense. That's what the strategy ought to be then, is the subject to 81,000, subject to the $61,000 mortgage that's in place already, and then $20,000 cash out to the homeowner.
what you
to
want
walk
to do, you
away.
come out of the boxes. You were talking about 77, so give her your numbers. Just give her cash up to 77,000. You can always go up. You can't go down.
Oh, that's so true. Yes.
Listen, you want to take the 77. All right, listen, if I was able to get you $2,000 more, would that be able to make this deal happen? Well, if I got 5,
Yeah.
next person to speak loses, So
That's great. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
one way to do that. No,
I'm digging it.
there's 100 different ways to slice that deal up.
Well, that's the one I was looking for right there. So that's good. 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 That's a great way to buy a piece of property for $20,000 cash that you can immediately start cash flowing off of and control and own the whole asset.
Before you go out
Yeah.
and make your first offer on anything, you should know what your exit strategy is going to be. And if you're wholesaling, you better have your numbers right where you're going with this thing. I've made mistakes, but I've always retailed and financed my way out of them. All right. If you overpay on a property and you're going to hold it and you're going to put it out for a long-term finance strategy, I don't care if you pay list price for the, retail, top retail. All right. I can still do that deal. All right. Because I'm going to be able to finance out of it. And my profit is going to be the interest. And if I decide down the road, somebody's going to, if she's holding or he's holding a balloon payment, I'm going to buy that note down. I'm going to get a discount on that.
Yeah.
So that's another way, negotiate long-term, long-distance balloon notes at 0% interest or 1 or 2% interest. Don't offer interest. I don't even start offering interest. Are you a bank? Well, if I give you interest, that's all taxable. We agree, right? Okay. So if you want 5% interest on this deal, I got to go back and I've got to redo my numbers. I'm giving you the most I can pay for you, the most I can pay for this right now. You want interest? I got to go back and recalculate everything. You're not going to wind up with the same amount of money.
Right.
You told me you wanted the most amount of money, sir. This is what I can do right now.
Right.
Right.
I like it.
That works.
Good. Thank you, Coach Steve. Appreciate it, dude.
Anybody else got something before we sound off here? Crickets.
Thank you, Steve.
No problem, bro. No problem.
Hey, I got to show you. I got to show you what I picked up.
Pick it up, man. Hi. Laying that in the screen.
All right.
What's he got? I didn't see it. What is it?
Hold
Oh,
on. Let me see if I can spotlight your video for everybody.
Picked it up over the weekend. I had to have it.
he was from Levittown, New York.
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield. I went to see him at the what was it? One of the big music houses here, Westbury Music Fair. He was funny. One line is great. Boom, 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 boom. You know, yeah. He was.
No respect. No respect.
He gets no respect. Yeah.
If you get a chance, watch the movie Back to School.
Oh yeah.
And in there, he's got a business. He's taking a business class, and the business teacher is up there, a British guy, and he's up there talking to the class, and he's giving them instructions, what they've got to do to get into business and all. And he was in the tall and fat business or something with the clothes. Yeah. So he says, "Oh well, the guy's you got to put a building up, and you got to do this, you got to do that." And he goes, "Whoa, you're way off." I'm not going to tell you. You got to watch the movie. It's a great movie. Have you laughing? It's really a good movie. I might go watch it tonight.
What was that movie again? Back to what?
Back to School.
Back to School. It's a classic, man.
Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. When he goes through what he does to this business teacher is crazy. And when you watch it, you got to go, this guy's not that far off. Yeah. And that just goes to show you, when you go to college, they're training you how to be a great employee. They're not training you how to be an entrepreneur. Not most of them. I don't know if anybody agrees with me or not, but
I totally do.
Definitely.
That whole movie, the whole message I think is that there's a right way to do things, and then there's a right way to do things. And both of them work if you work it the right way. But one might be better than the other one.
What's this VIP leaderboard behind you? What is that all about?
Yeah, this is our guys. This is some club members that are getting into the accountability team. We kind of put together a little accountability team, and we've got Alan and Garrett and Vaughn and Mark and Ed, and there's some others jumping in on it too, but they're making calls regular every day, making offers, and we're just trying to encourage them and keep track too. And there's some rewards we've tied to it. So I'm going to buy somebody
does everybody see
Ruth Chris dinner.
Does everybody see how this group is growing? If you were on this 6 months ago and you were on one of these calls, we couldn't have a conversation like this because we just weren't at that point. All right. And you can even listen to the day calls when I listened to this morning. All right. And it's almost like we're going through school and you're starting the first grade. And by the time you get to the end of the first grade, you're going into second, you've already got some of the fundamentals down, English, whatever, right? Hopefully. Right. And that's really what all this is. That's really how this is maturing. Yes, we're getting new people in. I understand that. You might think about doing a class from scratch. just from scratch and started on a particular day of the month. So listen, on the 5th for the next 60 days, we're just going to start from scratch and we're going to work our way all the way through. You might think about doing that, Justin, and maybe that would even be something separate that you would do. I don't know.
I
And
like
then
it.
give people an opportunity to join this, you know?
Yeah. I
Did
like
you
it.
have a question, Herbeck? Yes.
I wanted to check in with you and ask you how your pre-foreclosure marketing is going.
Lousy. I just got back to New York.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump back, and I couldn't even get anything started last week. I had too many things going on. I had 2 weeks. So I'm not making excuses. I just felt like taking it easy for a few days, man. I was burned out with all the driving I was doing. But I'm back in the game. I'm meeting with my attorney, hopefully
Slipping.
Wednesday.
He's going. He's
hopefully-
slipping a little bit.
I'm sorry?
I said you're slipping a little bit there, man.
Oh, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting fucking old.
Nah.
I'm getting old. But listen, you know, I made what I wanted to do this year. I've already done already. So I'm cool. I'm good. You know, 3 years ago, I did a deal a week. That almost killed me. And I didn't care if it was a small deal or a huge deal. Huge deal was just one deal. And I went through the whole year. And by the time I got done, I had 55 deals done in 1 year. And that to me was colossal. I mean, so by myself, no help, just me. So, I mean, I didn't wholesale anything. I wasn't doing wholesaling, you know, so it's pretty cool. It's all good, man. It's all good. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to add quick before we sign off? Mag, Hervik, Jason, Vaughn,
Been great.
Justin.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Been a
Thank
good
you,
night.
Coach Steve. Love Deal Laboratory.
Take care, guys. See you next week.
Everybody.
Have a
Bye-bye.
happy.